All right, Advent Code, day 4. Here we go. Get ready to start the timer. Let's go. Passport processing. Whoa. Passports. Passport scanners are slow because having their trouble checking which passports have all required fields. Batch files. Each passport is represented by a sequence of key value pairs. Passports are separated by blank lines. The first passport is valid. Okay. Def is valid. Stirs.each do. Oh my god. Stir. Scene equals stir if let's see. Keys equals needed keys equals BYR, IYR, EYR, HGT, HCL, ECL, PID. We don't care if it's a CID. If stir equals blank, num valid equals 0, if needed keys dot all k scene dot key k num valid plus equal 1 scene equals empty object. Then we want to do kv equal stir dot split space kv dot each do kvs kv k equals kv dot split 0 scene k equals true. Put num valid. 253. Gosh darn it. I haven't gotten like one of these right. Oh. $254. I missed the last one. Oh man, 27 seconds. Oh. This is gonna kill me. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 3, 2, 1. Oh. Okay, there we go. Continue to part 2. Okay. You can continue to ignore the CID field. Equals v equals that. Let's actually store the value. Then def is valid scene. All here. BYR equals scene BYR that to I. IYR equals scene IYR dot to I. Oh man, EYR equals scene EYR dot to I. Height equals scene HGT dot to I. I think that's fine. 1, 2, 3 CM dot to I. Yep. Is CM equals scene dot include CM. ECL equals I color equals A and B, BLU, BRN, gray, green, hazel, other, scene, ECL, equals I color include PID dot length CID is ignored, so return BYR and BYR is less than 2002 and 2010 is less than IYR and IYR is less than equal 2020 and 20 EYR 2030 and is in equals scene dot include in not is CM. A implies B is not A or B, or 150 is less than equal height and 193 and not is in or 59 in 76 and oh wait, hair color X 0 through 9, A through F 6. I don't know how to specify the number of times. Ruby regex exact number of repetitions. Okay. Match CDEF. Match. Okay. Hair color equals hair color dot match. Return false if return false if not. Okay. Birth, issue, expiration, height, hair color we handled, eye color we handled, and still time. PID RE equals return false if not seen. Num valid equals 0 if is valid seen. Num valid plus equal 1 if is valid seen. Let's just try running that. Needed keys. Do I reset scene? No. Eight. Bummer. Time's up. Oh no. I guess 8, and that was not correct. Okay. Okay, so this let's see. Equals 9, and then CM or IN. Return false if height dot match. Oh. Well, that's my issue. $186. It's the right answer for someone else. Okay. It's not 8. Oh. Return false if not all here. 180, still 186. let's see. Huh. Birth year, BYR, is between 1920 and 2002. Issue year, 2010 and 2020. Expiration year, at least 2020 and at most 2030. Hair color, I'm going to put this down here. Height, regular expression, is 0 through 9. Height, regular expression, is 0 through 9. And then centimeter or IN. Oh. Okay. Another issue. 184. Yay. I finished. Did a little bit better. Oh, bummer. What's up, aneurysm? Man, that one was tricky. Not really a way to do that one quickly. Let's see how I did. 354, and what was I? 428. Ugh, close. And then, wow, 1255. What was the fastest? 624. Wow, that's amazing. Like, so I had to look up how to do some regular expression stuff, which was, that was a bummer. Yeah, but regular expressions are something that it's like, always look up the documentation. Very rarely do I like just do that off the cuff. And then I definitely made assumptions. I like did not read it carefully enough to determine like how much I would have to check. Like if birth year or issue year had characters after them, this wouldn't work. I at first assumed that height would include the CM or the IN, but it doesn't. I don't know if there are any like passport IDs that were longer. So I think like you definitely need the regexes. Otherwise it's hopeless. All right. Time to clean this up a little bit. Is valid part 1. Is valid part 2. Part 2. 2. Is valid part 1. If is valid part 1 seen num valid plus equal 1 puts part 1 num valid. All right, clean that up a little bit. 254, 184. Okay. Man, the off by one, not handling the last passport, that got me. That got me. Okay. Any other stuff I want to clean up here? I think that's pretty good. Ooh. It would have been useful to like actually collect the passports so I didn't have to like repeat this stuff. And then check if they're all valid. But this will do. Yeah, cool. All right, let's add this stuff. December 4th, 2020 solutions. Let's just go over it one more time. All right, so we have to, let's open up this input. So we have these passports, which are basically like a bunch of these key value pairs separated by blank lines. And so we need to collect these passports and then check if they're valid. And so what we're going to do is for part one, what do we do here? So basically there are these 8 fields, which I've written here. And I don't know like the Ruby shorthand for not needing to put all the single quotes. I think it's like %W or something. Let's see. A, B, C. Yeah, so I could have done that. Wasn't confident enough though. So we're gonna go through all the strings, and if the string is empty, that means we've hit a blank line, and so we are done processing a passport. And so when it's a blank line, we check if it's valid, and if we increment a counter, otherwise, and then we're basically going to keep track of all these key value pairs in this scene hash. So we pass the hash, which represents the passport, into is valid. We reset the hash after we see the blank line because there's a new passport. And then we just split the passport, all these key value pairs on spaces, and then split each of those strings on a colon to get the key and the value and put that in the hash. And then there's an off by one error, or like bit of processing, which is we don't see an empty line at the very end. So we once more have to call is valid for the last passport. And then checking for it's valid, we have these keys and we just check that all of them are present in the passport hash. So that was part one. Then for part two, we basically need to do a bunch of validation for each of these. So the core bit of the problem is the same. We make an empty hash. We put all the key value pairs into that hash. When we see a blank line, we check if it's valid, increment it, and then we have the same off by one check, or like check for the last passport. Then for this part, to check if something's valid, we have a bunch of constraints here. And so what we do is we first again check that all of those needed keys are present. Birth year, issue year, and expiration year, BYR, IYR, EYR are integers, so we just turn them into integers. Then they start to get a little more complicated. We'll start to need regular expressions to validate these. So height is a number and then either CM or IN. that's not guaranteed to be present. It might just be a number. So here is the regular expression for that, a bunch of numbers. Ooh, I never put that there, but it worked. Bunch of numbers, then followed by CM or IN. I think could also just do that, but in the heat of the moment, I just did 0 through 9. So you can just check in Ruby .match question mark just returns true or false, whether a string matches, whereas .match with no question mark returns a match object. So we check if the height regular expression matches. If not, it's not valid. Then we get the height. A nice thing about 2i in Ruby, or nice in this situation, also could be a total pain and cause bugs, is that if you have, when you call 2i, it just considers the leading digit characters of a string. So if you call 2i on 1, 2, 3, 4 ASDF, that returns 1, 2, 3, 4. If you return it on ASDF 1, 2, 3, 4, that just returns 0. So 2i never fails. It just returns 0. But here it's useful because we don't have to worry about trimming the CM or the IM. Then we have similar regular expressions for hair color, which is a £, and then 6 hexadecimal characters. Then passport ID, which is 9 digits. Don't need to validate country ID. And then eye color is exactly 1 in this list. So we just check against the regular expressions for hair color and passport ID. Eye color, we check if this list of valid eye colors includes what we got. And then for these other ones, we just have to check that these numbers are in these ranges. And then for here, this last little bit at the end for checking whether the height is in centimeters or inches. If you want A implies B to be true, that's the same as not A or B. Because yeah, that's just I don't know, in propositional logic. Propositional logic implication. Yeah, P implies Q is equivalent to not P or Q. Boom. And so that's what I do here. So I want, if it's centimeters, it needs to be between 150 and 193. So either it's not in centimeters or it's in that range. And similarly, either it's not in inches or it's in that range. And that gets everything. Cool. All right, and then we'll go back here and actually read the story. Day 4, passport processing. You arrive at the airport only to realize that you grabbed your North Pole credentials instead of your passport. Oh no! While these documents are extremely similar, North Pole credentials aren't issued by a country and therefore aren't actually valid documentation for travel in most of the world. You know, that first sentence reading, or that first paragraph reading it, would have helped a little bit as just an explanation of why there's this extra thing that we're just ignoring. It seems like you're not the only one having problems, though. A very long line has formed. Yo, what's up? What's up, Sevibar? Thank you for the raid. What's up, John Paul 4444? Yeah, advent of reading would have helped a little bit. Absolutely. What's up, Nemo? I'm just reading through the story now. Frulu, thank you for the follow. Seems you're not the only one having problems. Yeah, all the people who didn't read the instructions, they're the ones having problems. A very long line has formed to the automatic passport scanners, and the delay could upset your travel itinerary. Due to some questionable network security, you realize you might be able to solve both of these problems at the same time. The automatic passport scanners are slow because they're having trouble detecting which passports have all required fields. These are the required fields. Passport data is validated in batch files. Your input, represented by these sequences. Now this is getting into the actual puzzle. The third passport is interesting. The only missing field is CID. So it looks like data from North Pole credentials, not a passport at all. Surely nobody would mind if you made the system temporarily ignore missing CID fields. Wow, so we are drastically affecting the national security of the North Pole. I don't know if I don't know if I agree with that. That's not like a anti-immigration stance, just a joke. Pro-immigration, yeah. Nobody would mind if you made the system temporarily ignore missing CID fields. Treat this passport as valid. According to the above rules, your improved system would report 2 valid passports. So we need to find all the valid passports. Part 2, the line is moving more quickly now, but you overhear airport security talking about how passports with invalid data are getting through. Better add some data validation, quick. Yeah, I didn't even like see this line in the description. So there are a bunch of rules, and we want to count the passports where all the required fields are present and valid. Cool. So we did that. And yeah, we're on our way once again to saving Christmas. What did I change? Oh, just fix my regex. Amend that commit. All right. That is it for day 4 of Advent of Code. I'm sticking around. I'm like cutting these and making them into YouTube videos. So that's me like closing the YouTube video. Yeah. Cool. Eric, you might be a little late. So maybe I'll keep you in.